Many of the states and cities were offering more in economic incentives than we were offering. We believe that we had other benefits that were inherent to what we were already doing and, with the arrogance of a New Yorker, inherent to New York.
There's a reason. There's a reason even before this great decision by Amazon, Google had made a decision to keep expanding. Facebook, you've seen so many companies decide that you can't achieve what you want to achieve if you're not in New York City.
Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio doing a victory lap over New York City, landing one of Amazon's new headquarters. The other location will be in Crystal City, that's in Northern Virginia. Now, they won out over 200 other proposals to get Amazon.
With $5 billion and 50,000 jobs on the line, cities went all out to be the home of Amazon HQ2.
The second city is your first choice.
Tucson, Arizona sent Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos a 21-foot cactus. The mayor of Kansas City purchased $1,000 worth of items on Amazon. Next to each product he purchased, he left a comment touting his city. But in the end, HQ2 turned out to be HQ3. The Seattle-based retail giant announced not one, but two new East Coast locations, Arlington, Virginia, and Long Island City, New York.
I think it's exciting for Amazon. I know it's exciting for the state of New York.
This is a long, hard-fought battle.
The Virginia location is just across the Potomac from Washington, D.C., and about a mile from the Pentagon. But despite the prime location, the Crystal City neighborhood has plenty of vacant office space. That's because many federal jobs have left the area.
In fact, the site where we're standing right now will transform from an empty warehouse into a significant component of Amazon's new headquarters.
The company also announced that it'll open an operations hub in Nashville.
This is the largest jobs announcement in the history of the state of Tennessee.
5,000 new jobs are headed to Tennessee and 25,000 in Virginia and New York each. And despite all the stunts, getting to be one of the prime locations involved gives the company nearly $2.5 billion in tax breaks and other incentives.
Now, of the more than $2.5 billion in incentives offered to lure Amazon, New York is picking up the tab for nearly $2 billion of a $1.7 billion. Jerica, it takes a lot for Cuomo and de Blasio to sit at the same table without trying to strangle each other. They actually generally seemed to be giving each other praise. Is this a no-brainer for New York, or did they give up a lot to get a lot?
Well, I think having the governor and the mayor together and on the same page was a win for New York. And I think 25,000 jobs, in theory, is great for the city. I think what remains to be seen is what type of investments are going to be put into infrastructure and transportation. I think in order for all of this to be successful and to be deemed as a success in New York City, you have to have a lot more community engagement and engagement with local elected officials than has happened so far.
In fact, Scott, I saw both the city council president was critical, but really more that he wasn't involved in the process, right? You get some bruised egos. And the new congresswoman, Cortez, she was upset because there could be displacement of low-income housing. But there's a reason why so many cities applied for this. This is like a golden ticket, right?
Yeah, no, I think it is. The question is, did we pay too much? And already folks upstate, a lot of folks upstate are very upset. Up in Erie County today was an announcement of losing 200 jobs, I think it was. Upstate's in serious trouble, and so the issue is, could we have done this for less? If you look at the...
But they had so many other options.
Well, they did, but in a way, not really, because New York City is the place to get skilled labor. I mean, we are the center. This is the place to do it.
But they were rumored to be going to Newark. Newark, I know it's not in New York, but it's not that far, and they still could have drawn people, certainly from New York, to come there and whatever else from an intellectual capital standpoint.
$2 billion from New Jersey.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
So the first thing Amazon was looking for was they needed somewhere that was close to the airport. If you order from Amazon, you know that you can get your stuff ordered tonight and get it tomorrow. So when you're in New York City, you have LaGuardia, JFK, and Newark Airport all within 45 minutes of each other. Crystal City, you have DCA, which is Reagan, Dulles, and BWI, all within 45 minutes. Great locations, great incentive packages. The thing I'm most worried about is what's the added benefit to the city? It's not just the jobs, because what type of jobs are coming? Are they going to be quality jobs, or are they going to be minimum wage jobs? And if
they say there'll be more
$15 an hour or something like that.
And there'll be a lot of high-end jobs too. But anyway, I'm sorry.
And so if you have the high-end jobs, then you have people who are going to want to move and live in the area, which means you're going to displace other people. Also, building the infrastructure, having more people in there, you're going to increase traffic. So there's a lot of issues. You know, I always wonder.
The mayor or the governor, would you have ever seen a scenario where you walk away?
I would not be. Amazon doesn't need $2 billion incentive. They don't. It made sense for them to come to this area, in economic sense. They didn't need $2 billion. You never get the money that you give back to the public. When you build these stadiums, I don't care, 10,000 jobs, it really doesn't add up to what the public but the public doesn't really get the benefit of what they give away.
I've got some questions also about the whole thing. I think the math works out so that New York State is subsidizing $65,000 per job created in Long Island City, which seems like a pretty astronomical amount of money. I don't exactly recall New York State offering to hire people at $50,000 to do various different jobs.
You are absolving all the construction that's going in. Those are attendant jobs, not just the full-time jobs that are there.
But
there's all the other attendant businesses that will also be serving this.
But any stimulus that you put in place is going to create jobs as a result of that stimulus. I'm also concerned because this thing has such a momentum of its own now at this point. The very way that you framed it, nobody's going to stand in the way of this thing, and you're absolutely right. But that means that Amazon can pretty much get away with murder in getting its deal here, just because.
Let me be cynical, Andrew.
Because who's going to be the politician who's going to stand in front
Are
of the?
Are you kidding me? I'll give you 40 names of the city council who are going to try and on a daily basis complain about anything. It's in Amazon's self-interest that they're not seen as the bad big kid on the block kicking everybody to the curb. Have I seen displacement with gentrification? Absolutely. But again, I don't think I know of any party, any lawmaker that would have turned this away today. Am I wrong?
That's the point.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, just one other thing. You know, the record of New York State on corporate welfare is not good.
It's not good anywhere. But you know what? Amazon is, and I can just tell you, I went to a media conference today. Amazon will displace, if it hasn't already, in the next few years, every single major corporation. It is causing so much dislocation in a positive way from their end, but others, no one can appreciate. We will not see a company the size of Amazon in American history within years, and I'm talking of any generation. That's how much they're growing in so many different areas. Now, when we come back here, we're going to get back to politics. I'm sure Richard will love this. Many red areas turned blue on election night, and now we are looking ahead to 2020 and what that could mean for the Grand Old Party and one President Trump.